Shortly after we reported our first case of COVID-19 in Kenya, I said here on my take that this was the unifying factor, that we were all stuck here, that we would have to work through this together. Folks, I have an admission to make. I was wrong. If anything, this pandemic shows us that we are not one, we are not together, and we will not die together. Worse still, it has laid bare the gap between the rich and the poor, those in power and those they lead, the politicians and the justice defenders, the government and the citizens. See, over the last 3 months or so, I've witnessed poor students huddling themselves around a radio trying to get through some long-distance learning, and others with uninterrupted internet access to do online learning, complete with live video and other complicated illustrations. Teachers in public schools earning a full salary and conducting private tuition, while those in private schools are sent on unpaid leave of some of those schools shut down. The pandemic has also been drawn into internal party politics and has been used as a tool to enforce loyalty within the majority party. I've seen some politicians allowed to gather in large crowds in clear defiance of the government directives, whilst other colleagues on the wrong side of the divide are violently dispersed and human rights defenders attacked for commemorating one of the most important moments of our second liberation. I've also seen high-profile persons buried in dignity, given the full final rites of passage in gatherings that defy government directives, but one that is so somber and respectful that it would surely bring a tear even to the eyes of one who did not know them. Yet I have also seen tears being shed for the unknowns who were tossed into their graves in the middle of the night. I've seen poor Kenyans shamed by the stigma of contracting the coronavirus and unable to afford treatment, dying alone in their homes in Mombasa, whilst others get first-rate care in private hospitals, singing the praises of our healthcare system after a miraculous recovery in scenes reminiscent of Lazarus coming back from the dead. I've seen government officials at pains to answer questions about politicians calling for and leading big gatherings, while other Kenyans are shot dead for not wearing masks or for being out a few minutes past curfew. Yes, you see, I know that we have always been an unequal nation and that there is so much that needs fixing, from our healthcare to our education system, our national government and county governments. But you see, I imagined that maybe, just maybe, a crisis this big, a pandemic this serious, would at least start to shift the conversation or even shift the needle 1 degree. That just may be. And this would have been an opportunity for us to come together and reimagine our nation. But alas, I was too optimistic, idealistic even. Perhaps the moment is yet to come, who knows? What is true, though, is this. See, what the president said when easing the restrictions earlier this week, that we must take responsibility for what happens next, he was right. We must take responsibility for all our choices. To mask or not to mask, to keep social distance or not, to wash our hands or not. Likewise, we also have the choice to hold our government to account or not, to continuously demand better for our health, our education, our taxes, and our children's future, or not. To never relent in the quest for better. It truly is up to us. And that is my take tonight.